What up, what up, what up? What's going on, guys? Your boy Jez. Welcome back to another Madden 25 online ranked match. And today we are using the Oakland Raiders going up against the Philadelphia Eagles. So, I say this all the damn time. I hate going up against the Eagles. They have so much firepower on offense. And when your defense is as bad as mine, it's not a good situation, you know? So, I struggle with this team a lot. I struggle with them. I struggle with the Patriots a lot, but I just generally don't do well against this team because it's really hard for me to try and key in on, you know, something specific. You know, they have so many weapons on offense, you know, and on top of when they're starting Vic, right there, don't test the user. He is so disrespectful, though. Somebody please give that gentleman a link to my channel. No, do not throw the ball my way as TP goes for the TD on the read option. First play of our offensive possession, putting us up 7-0. And that right there is always a beautiful thing to be able to get a turnover and turn those into points. So like I said, man, when they start Vic, that just puts another element that's tough to stop. There's a lot of things you got to worry about, you know, read options, wraps, and on top of that explosive running back right there, Shady McCoy, as well as Jackson and Macklin and Cooper. And man, the Eagles got such a dominant offense in Madden, and he did go for 2, which, you know, caught me off guard, and he was successful on it. So hopefully we can go on ahead and you know, score on offense here, you know, put the pressure back on him. Right here we go to a quick little makeshift, and we got D. Look at my main man DMC, Darren McFadden right here. Whoa, we just caught us on the ankles. So one thing I did, I was a little frustrated as we just ran right through them with Jennings. One thing I was like, okay, once I do score, I cannot get into his game. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna go for 2. I'm gonna kick my PAT, because if I go for 2 and if I don't get it, then he's winning the battle. You know, don't fall for it. You know, if he continues to go for 2, let him do it. You know, he's not gonna take me out of my game plan. He definitely had a single back trio scheme right here with, you know, that toss crack as he ran one to the left and then he ran right again to the right. Thankfully, he didn't get that first down because on 4th and inches, we got that QB sneak defense. So it's up, as we end up recovering right there. Huge stop, putting us already in field goal territory. But of course, we want to be able to take that touchdown, give it back to DMC, who's always been one of the glitchiest running backs in Madden for so long. We go back to him on the stretch towards the left, and we end up scoring a touchdown, putting us up 21-8, which is definitely a good thing. You know, because one thing I want to be able to do with any team that has an explosive running back is hopefully take them out of the game. And another user interception. 2 pieces. No, some of you. Give it to me, baby. Huge interception right there, right up the middle. Gives us another possession in striking distance. And with this type of lead, you know, like I said, you want to be able to take an explosive player like McCoy out of the game plan. So my hopes, as he plays a little bit of Faggy right there, but we score. Nope, we don't score. So we get tackled on the 1-yard line. But we do eventually score right there with the read op. What the hell am I talking about? QB sneak. So that puts us up 20-8. So I'm hoping that, you know, maybe he'll forget about the run play, start passing the ball out, which still doesn't make it easier because they got so many amazing receivers on that team, you know. But if we could take Sean McCoy out of the game plan, that's, you know, a huge advantage for us. So, you know, as you see, his first couple drives, he started running the ball. Now he's passing the ball, understanding that he needs to score and score quickly because I'm putting up points every time I touch the ball. Big pass right there, right up the middle. He does a good job of really avoiding contact. He catches the ball and he gets down immediately. If he feels like he's unable to gain extra yards, you know, he's not shy with getting down immediately and, you know, avoiding any type of big hits, injuries, fumbles, anything like that. So, right there, we tried to go for the strip to try and maybe knock the ball free for an incomplete pass, but unfortunately that did not happen. He did a very good job with Michael Vick running outside the pocket, extending the play, and it's very frustrating. This is what I mean. Like, it's such a good team, and when you throw Michael Vick in the mix, it just makes it more frustrating. Like, there's just so many things that he can do, and it's tough to really account for, you know what I mean? Like, you got to worry about Vic, and then you start putting up you know, contains and QB spies and all this stuff, and that just takes extra people out of pass rushing or coverage, And but that's what you got to try and do to stop somebody like Vic. Scores a touchdown right there, goes for 2, quick little hitch route right there in the slot, and he ends up going for 2, and he ends up succeeding. So now it's a 12-point game, and a little bit before halftime, 4 minutes before halftime, but right here, Ford ends up taking the kick return, bouncing it to the outside, and we end up scoring a touchdown on the kickoff return. So big, always huge when you can score points and not have your offense on the field. So we retaliate immediately, and I'm sure any type of confidence he had in himself or momentum was just, slowly going down after that, because that right there is definitely frustrating to give up a kick return. Steps up in the pocket, has the speed and range, but thankfully we're just close enough to go in and swat that down. 2nd and 10, Michael Vick steps up, goes over to his right, tries another streak, and because of the speed, I'm not pressing. I make sure I have my guys already deep and ready for those type of situations, because Macklin and Jackson are so fast. I got to make sure I have guys in position to be able to play the deep ball. So I'm definitely wary of that, and I'm definitely making sure my guys are far enough back to be careful for them streaks. But when you do that, you always have to make sure you got some type of underneath coverage as well. Some purples, some light blues, because things like that can happen. Out routes, comebacks. When you got your guys far back, it's easy to sit there and throw comebacks and out routes, because my guys are already 15 yards off of the ball. So, I got to try and do a mixture of coverages to make sure I can try and prevent that, as well as trying to stop the deep ball. Right there, we forced an incomplete pass on 4th and 1. He decides to go for it, and I don't know if this was a designed run, but as soon as he hiked it, he ran to the outside immediately and picked up the first down. Right here, he rolls out again, and then he decides to go for a pass, and very, 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 very frustrating, man, when you feel like the coverage is there, and he decides to buy himself more time, and he ends up finding somebody open after that, and I'm just like, man, what more can I do? He goes for 2 again, and those 3 extra points are slowly but surely getting himself back in the ball game. Instead of 21, he now has 24, which is basically like he just got a free field goal, so 35-24, and like I said, we've scored every time we've touched the ball. We've been very solid on offense, gotten a few defensive stops, but we made sure we turned those into points, and that's very important. When you're heavily offensive based like I am, whenever your defense is lucky enough to come up with some stops, you got to turn those into points. And when I have games where I don't turn those into points, it's a long game for me. So far, so good. We've been able to turn those into points. Whoop! Quick little whoop! And then another whoop! Nice little moves right there. Get ourselves in great position, already in field goal range with Janikowski. We already know that man has that thunder leg. So he's calling timeouts, trying to give himself maybe an opportunity to get the ball back with some seconds remaining. We roll out with TP, and this is what a mobile quarterback can do for you. This is why, as far as, Madden goes, and even the NFL, the new stock of talent of QBs, a lot of them are very mobile because they can create so much havoc. When things aren't available, they got their legs. 3rd and 13, we drop back. We go over towards the corner. We find a touchdown to Holmes, and we end up getting ourselves a touchdown right before halftime, leaving only 5 seconds remaining. He does get himself a very good kick return right here. He gets to about the 40-yard line, I believe, and he goes out of bounds. If he had himself a strong leg kicker, it would have been in field goal range, but he doesn't. So he's got to just chuck it up, hope for the best, which it was incomplete. Coming out of halftime, I was pretty sure he seemed like the type, when people go for 2, they usually kick onside as well. So we recover, and he ends up quitting after that. So that's the end of the game, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. As always, man, I love each and every single one of you guys, man. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the content. We come through with the victory, and we played very, very well on offense. Just good enough defensively, even though we gave up 3 touchdowns, but just good enough to force some mistakes. But more importantly, our offense were able to capitalize on those mistakes, and that's what was the difference in the ball game. So we come away with the victory, and we won plus 13, so he definitely know what he's doing. And that's it, man. We're out. Peace. Give it to me, baby. Give it to me.